In this video, we will learn useful tips and tricks to easily solve questions on perimeter and area. In the previous video, we learned how to calculate the perimeter and the area of a few basic shapes. Pause the video now to revise the basic formulae. At LearnMumbai.com, we have grouped area and perimeter questions into 7 types. Type 1, direct formula question. Type 2, indirect formula question. Type 3, mixed formula question. Type 4, mixed formula question with 2 shapes. Type 5, combination shape question. Type 6, number of smaller shapes question. Type 7, cost of fencing or painting question. Type 1, direct formula question. Direct formula-based questions require the direct application of the formulae of area and perimeter. The values of sides are given. We just need to calculate the area or perimeter. Here are a few examples. Type 2, indirect formula question. In indirect formula-based questions, we are given the area or perimeter, and we need to calculate one of the sides. For example, the perimeter of a rectangle is 100 centimeters. If the length of the rectangle is 30 centimeters, find its breadth. We know perimeter of a rectangle is twice the sum of its length and breadth. By putting the values of perimeter and length, we get the value of breadth, which is 20 centimeters. Type 3, mixed formula question. In mixed formula questions, either perimeter is given, and we need to calculate the area, or area is given and we need to calculate the perimeter. For example, find the area of a square if its perimeter is 28 centimeters. Step 1. If perimeter of the square is 28 centimeters, one side of the square is 28 divided by 4 equals 7 centimeters. Step 2. Finally, the area of the square is its side squared. Thus, area is 7 into 7 equals 49 square centimeters. That's the answer. Type 4. Mixed formula questions with 2 shapes. In mixed formula questions with 2 shapes, we are given some value of one shape, and we need to calculate the area or perimeter of another shape. The solution requires multiple steps and formulae. For example, a rectangular wire with length of 5 centimeters and breadth of 4 centimeters is bent to form a square. Find the area of the square. The solution requires 3 steps. Step 1. Perimeter of rectangle equals twice the sum of its length and breadth, which is 20 centimeters. This is also the perimeter of the resultant square. Why? Because the rectangular wire was bent to form the square. This is the central concept of this question. Step 2. Now if perimeter of the square is 20 centimeters, one side of the square equals 20 divided by 4 equals 5 centimeters. Step 3. Finally, the area of the square is the square of its side. Thus, area is 5 into 5 equals 25 square centimeters. That's the answer. Type 5, combination shapes question. In combination shapes questions, we need to calculate the perimeter or area of a combination of shapes. The solution requires dividing the given figure into basic shapes, find the area or perimeter of each basic shape, and finally, add or subtract the calculated values. For example, 2 concentric circles have radii of 14 centimeters and 7 centimeters respectively. Find the area of the shaded region. The central concept in the solution is that the shaded region can be visualized as removing the inner circle from the outer circle. In other words, the area of the shaded region is the area of the outer circle minus the area of the inner circle. Step 1. Calculate the area of the outer circle, which equals 616 square centimeters. Step 2. Calculate the area of the inner circle, which equals 154 square centimeters. Step 3. Finally, the area of the shaded region can be calculated by subtracting the area of the inner circle from the area of the outer circle. Thus, area of the shaded region is 616 minus 154 equals 462 square centimeters. That's the answer. Type 6, number of smaller shapes question. In this question, we are given the dimensions of 2 shapes of different sizes. We need to calculate the number of smaller shapes that can fit into the larger shape. The solution requires dividing the area of the larger shape by the area of the smaller shape. For example, the floor of a rectangular hall 20 meters long and 10 meters wide, needs to be covered with square-shaped tiles, each of which is 2 meters by 2 meters. How many tiles are required to cover the floor of the hall? Step 1. Calculate the area of the rectangular floor, which is 20 multiplied by 10, equals 200 square meters. Step 2. Calculate the area of one square tile, which is 2 into 2, equals 4 square meters. Step 3. Finally, the number of tiles required to cover the floor of the hall is equal to the area of the floor, divided by the area of one tile. That is 200 divided by 4, equals 50 tiles. That is the answer. Type 7. Cost of fencing and painting question. In this question, we are given the dimensions of a shape, along with per unit cost of fencing and painting. We need to calculate the total cost of fencing and painting. The solution requires calculating the perimeter and area of the shape and then multiplying with respective per unit costs. For example, a rectangular garden, 30 meters long and 20 meters wide, needs to be fenced and painted. The cost of fencing is Rs 5 per meter and cost of painting is Rs 10 per meter. Part 1. Find the total cost of fencing. Part 2. Find the total cost of painting. Part 1. Total cost of fencing. Step 1. Calculate the perimeter of the rectangular garden, which is 2 times the sum of 30 and 20, equals 100 meters. Step 2. Total cost of fencing is equal to cost of fencing per meter multiplied by perimeter, which is 5 into 100 equals 500 rupees. That's the answer of the first part. Part 2. Total cost of painting. Step 1. Calculate the area of the rectangular garden, which is 30 multiplied by 20, equals 600 square meters. Step 2. Total cost of painting is equal to cost of painting per meter multiplied by area, which is 10 into 600 equals 6,000 rupees. That's the answer of the second part. Hope you enjoyed this video. For more such videos, visit learnmumbai.com.